use the chat feature to introduce yourself, your company, and your GNet ID if you have one. So, all right. Well, welcome everybody. We're very excited to have this workshop that is going to focus on the CD NLA show, especially the one in Dallas. So, as you know, the CD NLA show is one of the most critical events for our industry. It is always the perfect opportunity to strengthen your affiliate relationships and network, discover new partners, and significantly grow your business. It's truly, truly amazing the difference it makes to meet people in person and introduce your business to them and get to know them on a face-to-face basis. In a world of digital technology and whatnot, nothing replaces that face-to-face, and the CDNLA show is always the perfect place for that. So we all know the quality of these shows. Chris Weiss, president of CD Magazine, and Jess Pavlo, the director of events and the National Limousine Association, they spend months preparing these shows. They put so much attention into every detail to make sure that you benefit as much as possible as an attendee. So we're very grateful to them for that. A reminder, if you're a GNet member and you're on an NLA member, we are part of the affinity program. So make sure to use the benefits that are there for the members. That would be something that you don't want to miss out. So before you go, we just wanted to go over a few things to make sure you get the most out of your effort going to the show. And we're delighted to have our good friend Paul here to help moderate the session. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the floor on to Paul, and welcome everybody. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much, Yasmin. Thank you so much to the team at Grid. Hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. So yeah, this one is going to be pretty much just going to the show, how to get the most out of it, and just understanding what the reasoning of the show is. First and foremost, definitely a great job by Chauffeur Driven, the NLA Association, for putting on these shows. Every year it just gets bigger and bigger, better and better, higher and higher turnouts. You know, me going to the show, I'll start off by saying, is I go not as an owner. And I think that's very important to cover, that you have people of all different capacities representing their companies at the show. It's up to you to figure out who's who, because the way you speak to an owner of a company is going to be much different, of course, than the way you would speak to, let's say, the affiliate manager. For Legends, I'm the director of affiliate relations. I'm always accompanied by usually 2 or 3 more members of our executive team, and always one of the owners come. So I'm just speaking from when Legends goes to the show, how we attack it, where the owner is there to focus on things that's very very kind of informative to him as an owner, very beneficial to him. Something along the lines of the operations, the software, more so the high-end decision making. Where me, I focus on the relationship building, going out there and meeting new affiliates, meeting new people, kind of seeing exactly what other technology is also out there and giving my input to the owner. And usually it's our sales director and our marketing director that will accompany us. This year, we're going to have just our president and our marketing director, as well as myself. So the 3 of us definitely go in there with a plan in mind, as well as each of us have specific targets that we want to accomplish while we're there. You know, me, I'm huge on face-to-face. I love building relationships. I think that's the best way to do it. That's the best way you get to know a person. And this is just the way I approach it. I know it's going to sound crazy, but at the NLA, sometimes I don't like talking about business. I like learning more about you, about what you like, what you don't like. You know, maybe your family, maybe you have children. What do your children like to do? Do they play sports? Things like that, to me, the business will come naturally, of course, and yeah, and that's just how I approach it. Business cards, I'm definitely going to touch on that. Please bring as many as you can. Don't leave home without them, just like you
Yeah.
wouldn't leave home without your credit card. I've seen it every year. There are a handful of people who either don't have enough or just didn't think they would need that many. You can never bring too much business cards, honestly. Me personally, I always bring about 1,000 with me, and just in case, I know I can always shoot a quick order and have them delivered to the resort, which I've done just once before because I ran out. But yeah, definitely bring as many business cards as possible. Men and women, comfortable footwear, very important. You're going to be on your feet all day. Casual, comfortable footwear is an absolute must.
Yes.
Dallas, I don't think that, Gaylord. There's a lot of walking involved, but I know anybody who's been to the Vegas shows. I was closing all of my like iWatch rings in a span of 2 hours.
Oh,
Literally, just
you're so right.
it's
It's brutal, the amount of walking. I mean, it's great on one hand, but yes, you do definitely get all your
yeah,
activity steps and everything in. Yeah, yeah.
yep.
On the note of the business cards, which is absolutely very important, there was two things I wanted to bring up. One was North Point Limousine of Atlanta has always very generously sponsored the show app. And I think that's quite a very wonderful feature because it kind of gives you your schedule, what's coming up. I mean, there's a lot of benefits. So if you're going, please download the NLA Show app that's sponsored by North Point Limousine. And the second is, I know we've posted about this before, but most affiliates do the Affiliate Central, right? Have you been to, is everyone,
Oh yeah.
are they aware? Maybe we want to focus a little bit of conversation on that because I think that is critical. These shows, the opportunity that's presented there for operators is immense. And we on our end have noticed a few of the last shows we've been to, people put a little GNet sign with their GNet ID. So Reza and Sina created this fantastic QR code. It makes a little sign for you, and that way any affiliate that comes to your table, you can just scan and get all their information knowing that they're GNet members. So I'm going to give it back to Paul, and then maybe Reza and Sina can elaborate on those things.
No, those were two great points, Yasmin. The Affiliate Central, those are huge, where you have, you know, several, I would say almost 100 affiliates with tables, representatives you can speak to from all different parts of the nation and the world, of course. Also different vendors, just like Grid. I know Grid always does a fantastic job having all of their support members there. Regardless, I know Vegas is always the big one for you, but I know you guys are like very in tuned at the show. Definitely also the show floor. That's a great place too. The show floor, I like going there just to see what the new kind of equipment out there is. Also, it's a great networking opportunity. I'm a firm believer. There's no reason why you can't say hello to anybody at any given time during one of these events and just kind of have a conversation with them. The show app, I absolutely love that. Thank you for bringing that up. That is so awesome. So many different features. You pretty much get to see the full itinerary of all the different educational sessions that are going to be happening. Who are the guest speakers? You can actually message people directly through the app, which is another great feature. And you can also see, so once you download the app, anybody who signs up, you'll get to see them as an attendee. So you can also, it helps you map out your day and your schedule, kind of, if you have anybody in mind that you want to set a meeting with or you want to have a brief conversation with. You can actually set a meeting directly through the Chauffeur Driven app, and they'll get a request that, hey, this person wants to schedule a meeting with you, which is awesome. I know they have several map features there too that kind of gives you a layout of the resort, where where every session is going to be, which is huge too, because, you know, depending on how big the resort is, you might have to do some extra walking.
Absolutely. One point I'd like to make is I know that when I use the app, I always double check, even though I ask for the meeting on the app, I also try to send an email or a text as well, just to make sure. But again, I'd encourage everyone to use the app because it really does make things a lot easier when you're at the show. So the app is important, the show app.
Yep. I believe it also has a feature where you can directly add certain sessions to your calendar.
Yes.
It will send you a reminder. You know, me personally, one of my biggest challenges is just having enough time to attend everything, and then also to kind of get a chance to speak to certain individuals I want to speak to or I need to speak to. And then, of course, the networking aspect of it. You know, a lot of talking and a lot of walking, as I always say, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the factor of, I just know for us, you know, here I am going from point A to point B, and I get sidetracked by 15 conversations on the way, because you'll bump into someone, you know, who wants you to meet someone that they've been meaning to introduce to you. So always be wary of the, you know, like, be ahead of yourself. Don't,
Yeah.
you know, okay, it's 5 minutes to get from A to B, give yourself 20 minutes, because chances are you're going to get stopped or you'll bump into someone that you needed to talk to. And, you know, it's really busy. I don't know how you guys feel, but every time we've been to the show, I feel like we accomplish 20-fold what we set out to do with all the different opportunities that are there. And outside of the show floor, outside of the sessions, outside of the affiliate central, there's always the networking that happens over meals, over drinks. Late evening ones are big. You typically get to meet a lot of people after hours.
Yes, definitely. And that's honestly, I think that's also a very important topic, just because you're going to have so many people under one roof, everybody from all different walks of life. They all come from different backgrounds, cultures, whatever the case may be. I'm a firm believer, always be respectful of everybody, always respect everybody's boundaries. Somebody might have an opinion you might not agree with, or you might not even like. I've, you know, listen, I think we've all encountered that. I always say just be as professional as possible. You know, even if the other person might be a little unprofessional, there's definitely channels available through the NLA, through the show itself, to really mediate and delegate certain situations. You know, so definitely be always professional, be courteous. Everybody there, like I said, will be different from one another, and just always have that in the back of your mind that something you might find funny might be very offensive to another person. You know,
Yes.
I believe me, I know we're all adults, we've all been doing this for quite some time, but it never hurts to always kind of have it set as a reminder. You know, and you know, that's
I mean, you are
very big.
representing, you're representing your company, you're representing your brand, even if it's after hours over several drinks. Don't forget that, because, you know, you are making an impression on people that you're going to be doing business with. So be mindful. Also, with Dejan being here from Switzerland, I don't know who else we have that might be international right now. One of my very favorite events that takes place at these shows is the international meet and greet. I think that's just phenomenal. You know, again, that nothing replaces the ability to meet someone in person, to shake their hands and get to know them on a personal level, which speaks, you know, volumes for when you want to do business with them. I think the international meet and greets, amazing. The amount of people from different countries that are there, and it's a really good, I would say, don't miss that one. If you're looking for affiliates and growing your business globally, and of course through GNet, that's, you know, we're connected to 6 continents, over 65 countries. You know, this is a great opportunity, and we have a very huge international membership with GNet. So make sure to always let them know you're on GNet, of course, and connect with them through our Connect portal. Maybe this is a good segue for Reza to elaborate a little bit on what we aim to do when we go to these shows and how GNet can help you at these shows with your networking and affiliate growth.
Sure. I think I would like to maybe Paul finishes, and because this is Paul's session. After Paul's session in QA, I'll touch base on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, Reza, this is all of our session. Man, you're putting me on the spot. I'm starting to sweat here. No, but yeah, definitely, Yasmin, the International Affiliate Central, that's actually one of my favorite ones. I was very fortunate. Every year I meet a new international affiliate that somehow just works out mutually beneficial for both of our companies. And it turns into a very fruitful relationship, as well as a great partnership. You know, I encourage everybody to go to those meet and greets, because if you really think about it, how many times a year are you going to be in the same room with this particular person or somebody from their particular team? Twice a year. It's either here or when we go to Vegas. And, you know, always take opportunity because it might not be there again, you know. Networking, I think that's why we all go there, just to connect with everybody, and definitely not to be shy, you know.
Hey, Paul, I have a question. Yeah,
sure.
Because at the beginning you mentioned that we need to set a goal. Because if we
Yeah,
don't set
definitely.
a goal, it's going to be like wandering around, right? So can you touch base
Absolutely.
what are those goals are?
Yep. So I'll give you some insight on what my goals are going to the NLA show. So one of my first goals is I compile a list of every single affiliate that does business with Legends. Then I make a separate list of every affiliate that Legends does business with. So farm in and farm out. And I make it a priority that every single company on that list, if I know they're attending, I need to have a face-to-face interaction. Even if it's for 5 minutes, even if it's for me just to walk over to their affiliate manager or owner and say, hey, Alan, how are you, man? It's great to see you. How are things, so on and so forth. How's the family? How are your kids? A, Y, and Z. Anything, you know. And we speak a little bit about our relationship, kind of. Are there any issues, any incidents, anything we need to work on? And from there, based on that conversation, you would be the decisive factor on how long, where that conversation goes, and what the content of it is, like what the remainder of the dialogue is. And then there's also a third list I made. Companies I don't do business with, they don't do business with us, but I think would be very beneficial for us to have a conversation and to get to know one another. That's the most important list to me, because that's a list that I need to prioritize for myself, and I need to really dedicate a little more research to. I can't tell anybody how to do their job. I can only tell myself how to do mine. So I do extensive research on every affiliate I target. And what I mean by extensive research, there's a lot of information out there on the internet where you could find out. Maybe a person went to a particular college that you can have a very good conversation with them on. That can open a door for you, and really just kind of, when you go through this motion of handing somebody your business card, when they put it in their pocket, right? You now need to give them a reason why, when they go back in their pocket, that business card is memorable to them. Why that business card doesn't need to go in the trash bin or to go in a pile that's probably not going to be looked at for maybe 6 months until somebody needs to clean that pile, and you know where that pile is going to go to. It's going to go right in the trash. So that's very key. That's a target I set is Focus on who you want to talk to, what you want to talk to them about, what you want to get out of that conversation, and also what impression you want to leave. What impression do you want to leave on that person, on that company, on that president, on that owner, on that affiliate manager, on that sales, so on and so forth. You know, that's when you're going to target business. Now, let's say you're going to target software. You really need to, and now I'm going to speak a little bit as from kind of an owner's hat, even though I'm not an owner. Again, I'm the director of affiliate relations. From my experience, I know owners go there and they say, what's important to my business? What's important to my daily operation? And what's important to my ROI, ROR, and bottom line? And that's where they start to schedule, well, you know what? I'm not really here to kind of network as much so as I am to figure out if I can have a new operating system applied. Or, you know, I want to invest more about learning about grid and expanding my net. So I need to get with the people from GNet and spend a full day with them picking their brain. Maybe I can bring my laptop and walk over to their table and sit down with Reza and him kind of show me, you know, kind of things like that. You know, even what's the AI company? Oh my God. I think they were on your panel. Monobot, was it?
Monobot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, you know, let's say you're looking to dive into AI, you know, that's your opportunity to speak to somebody from Monobot and spend really an extensive time where nobody really is going to tell you, hey, listen, your 20 minutes are up. The next 5 minutes cost you $99.99 per, you know, 15 minutes. No, listen, this is an open forum. Take advantage of it. And really, really think about, what does your business need? What does your position need? What do you need to be successful in the capacity that you're in, representing your company, your brand, in this type of environment and conference? And that I think would be the best starting point for anybody to really know, well, what do I need? What do I want to benefit? How do I want to benefit? How can I make others benefit too? One thing this year at Dallas, I'm going to be speaking to a lot of my affiliates about is child passenger safety. That's something I'm very big on. That's something I'm going to be introducing to a lot of affiliates, you know, that vice versa, farm in and farm out, just so they know now they have a very reliable source of not only the child passenger safety aspect of it, but a source of information, you know. So that's one of my main targets now. So, yeah,
Great.
that's really how I do it, Reza. For me, everything is on a schedule. Everything is done with a purpose. And then, listen, after 5 o'clock, sometimes after 4 o'clock, some of the best business partnerships, some of the greatest relationships I've ever, you know, been privileged to have been introduced to, are usually kind of outside on the after hours in a very responsible fashion, you know, very civil and responsible fashion. So yeah.
Makes sense. I have another question. You mentioned about the what we take. You mentioned about the business card. What else? Is it business card is enough? And then is that in business card should we put QR codes or just the, so
you know
maybe what kind of effective business card is?
So everybody, listen, I could never tell anybody how to make their business card. In my opinion, your business card is a representation of you and a reference point of view. So, and I'll just use mine as a reference. So the back of my card is just simply my logo, the company name, where we're based, how long we've been around. Company name, very important. You need to know who I'm representing. And where are you based, I think is very important. I don't see that on too many business cards because, listen, everybody's a worldwide company, guys. I know this. Your clients know you're a worldwide company. However, I'm your affiliate, I'm your partner. I know you're based in Miami, and maybe you have offices here, so you're a nationwide company. It'd be great to know, though, where your base location is, because that's going to help me determine, do I have a need for you? Can I fit you into my network now? Do I have enough work to maybe shift your way? And also, you know, at the end of the day, you want to let the person know, hey, this is where I'm based. Mine's is very simple. I don't do anything fancy. My name, my title, it's 4 kind of words about just the service we provide. My picture, I will say, guys, very, very important. I think that's the
Yes.
most important thing of a business card, is to know who you're talking to, because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not bionic by any form. I don't have photographic memory. You will encounter hundreds of people throughout the day. God bless you if you remembers everybody's face and everybody's name. But that also means that that person did their job properly and made themselves that memorable to you, that you literally created a long-term image of them. But this just helps them that, hey, you remember that guy from New York, Paul? Yeah. Oh, okay. And then once they look at your card, yeah, I remember him. As opposed to, man, you can't put a face to the name. And that's usually my reaction when somebody asks me, hey, do you remember this individual? And I'm like, yeah, I remember the name, but I just can't put a face to the name. But then once you have your face plastered on your business card, it's very easy. Also, I like to include that I'm an NLA member. I think that's very important too amongst affiliates. Just to let them know, hey, I'm part of the same association that you are, you know. I also have my GNet thing there, just to let affiliates know, hey, I'm on GNet. That's huge, because, you know, that also lets them know you can find me on GNet. Also, this is just me. The Black Car Fund, this is a New York State organization that supports kind of workers' comp, safety training for providers, operators throughout the state of New York. So we're part of that association. And then I have the Chamber of Commerce logos, where we're members of the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce and the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce here. And very simple, my direct office line, my email, the general phone number, our website, and then our socials, pretty much, at Legends Limousine NYC. And that's pretty much it. I like to keep it simple. I don't like to bombard my card with too many things, because at the end of the day, when I go to networking events, I have a certain mindset where the business card, in my opinion, is my reference point to hand to you. It's my job to now create that image and to create that memorable moment that's going to make you now reach back for that card and kind of make an instant connection to, yeah, I remember this person. Yeah, I definitely need to get with them. You know, one thing I will also mention, I would encourage any owner, anybody of any capacity in this industry to do this. I have 3 different types of business cards. I have one I give to affiliates. I have one designed for when I go to networking events that I'm not going to meet anybody within our industry, that I'm going prospecting. And then I have just one general one that I can hand to anybody that just wants to know not more info on me, but just the company I work for. You know, I would encourage anybody to do that, because it goes a long way when you're at an event and you could hand a person something that really symbolizes you, but also hit 3 different types of, you know, kind of markets, niches, so on and so forth.
I have a question, or actually I have a comment. That's excellent information, Paul. Definitely, I think putting a face to the name is very important, because you do get overwhelmed when you've been on the convention floor and you've met, I don't know, 400 people in one day. There's some excellent conversations, but you do need a little, you know, something to help trigger your memory. But Reza mentioned the QR code, and I just wanted to elaborate on that. It's a very useful tool. You know, I mean, I don't know if you can see this. I've got, I don't know.
Yeah, all of Gert's cards have the, yep.
Yeah, so that's the back of Amir's card. It's got the QR code. And then the front is just, very simple name, contact information. But if you click, because everyone's got a camera, if they click on the QR code, you will see it says there's a picture of him. It gives his name, his title, gives a little bit of about. You can put a lot of information within the QR code. So I think that's also something, again, I lose cards, but with the QR code, if I scan it right then and there, there's a second way of holding on to the information when you meet people. So just wanted to add that. Reza, go ahead.
I want to add one more thing, that when you go show and collect the business cards, usually, we lose it in luggage, or, where is that? I usually take a picture of that.
Yes.
And the picture of the badge also. Hey, I'm talking to Paul. Can I take a picture of your badge? Right. Then 3 months and trying to reach out to Paul, and then I can go to my gallery to see, hey, that's much more convenient to dig into my drawer and then find it. Right.
Yeah. No, well, since we're speaking on business cards, here, I'll show you guys actually what I do, because I know that's one of the topics too. When you get back from the show, what do you do with all those cards?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'll show you what I do with mine. So I have kind of like a card Rolodex, and what I do is I mark them each by state. I mark it.
Nice.
And I pretty much, I have about 4 different binders, one for farming, one for farm out, one for I want to do business with, and one for whenever I'm in a tough jam, my first, second, third, fourth can't help me out. Guys, we live in a time that there's a 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, in some cases, 20th option in certain markets. So I personally never like to discard anybody's business card, even if we did not click, even if maybe you didn't make yourself memorable. That's just me. I just personally don't like to discard anybody's card. I'll take it. I'll still, it will go in a stack. And that stack serves a purpose, but it's still there because you never know when you might need to reference this person, or where they might end up in another year, 2, 5 years. Who knows? So it's also good to also hang on to those.
Yeah. Well, I asked first part of my question was, what else? What kind of other materials? Imagine that I'm not participating in Affiliate Central, but I'm gonna go visit there. Should I bring more materials, or is it business card is enough?
Gotcha. So now, are you asking, let's say you have a table, or you're just simply going around?
Going around. I don't have a table. Should I bring my, let's say, price sheet? I don't know, like my postcard. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, Yasmin actually touched on a great point that I was going to say. I know they have I think they're called back cards. That's another good alternative, the electronic kind of business cards, where you don't have to carry around a stack. It's almost the size of a credit card. You tap it on somebody's phone, your information populates. Affiliate rate sheets, that's great. If you can somehow compile it where you're not walking around, because realistically, Reza, I'm thinking, if I'm walking and somebody comes up to me and says, hey, I'd love to give you my price sheet, and I'm about to walk into a session, and I don't want to sound rude by any stretch, but I'm speaking from a realistic standpoint. If you hand me a stack of 10 papers and you tell me that's a rate sheet, chances are there's a 50-50 shot those papers are going to stay in that same auditorium that I just walked into, because I'm going to get into a conversation that I might forget. I might have put those papers down. Depending on the size of the papers, I'm probably not going to stuff them in my suit, I'm not going to stuff them in my pockets, because in my pockets, I already have my business cards. I have my phone. I have maybe my wallet here, Man, I'm showing where I keep everything. I hope nobody takes advantage of me. But yeah, I think, what's good? I've seen some people do this where they have the little USB drives. that they can import certain stuff where if it's not costly to you, I know that's a great feature. It's very small. You can hand it to a person. I know it may be kind of tricky handing a USB to a person like, hey, stick this in your computer, man, and check out my company, you know. However, I think at the NLA, that's very safe to do, especially if you have your company logo on it. I've actually seen a pretty nifty business card I wanted to show you guys too. This was from, you know, Eco Limos, the big provider in
Yes.
India.
India.
This should show you how long I've been going to these shows. This is his card from about, I swear to you, when I seen him in Washington, he told me, Paul, this is my card from like 15 years ago. So it's a hard plastic card, but watch this. The USB comes out right from the business card that literally has all his rate sheets, all of his company info. That's also a great tool to use if it's affordable, feasible to you. That's awesome. It's right on the business card, you know. I've seen a lot of people with their own pens. That's another good thing, you know, because I'm thinking, do you really want to walk around with a bag full of pens or a bag full of goodies, especially if you're just walking around and you don't have an actual table there, you know? I think definitely the business cards and the digital cards, I think would be the two best options in that sense. If you have a table, of course it's different. Then you have an array of goodies to give out.
I think that's a good segue back to Yasmin's question. I don't know. She asked me to say something, you know.
Yes, I did. Yes,
we did one prep. We noticed that in affiliate centrals, some of the tables, they put like a postcard and saying GNet member, GNet ID, and they put the ID. And we recently says, hey, why we don't provide a QR code? I'm passing by a table. I don't want to write down the GNet ID. Rather than I say, I'm going to scan the QR code and it's going to immediately go to the profile of the member. And if I'm the partner, it's going to say, yep, shake hand, you're a partner already. If you're not a partner, it can immediately send a partnership request. And that is, we encourage everyone that you have a table, just print out this sheet and fold it nicely. And then if someone is passing by, you know, just scan it. I think I created a YouTube video. Let me post it.
Yes, there's a YouTube video. I think I posted on the GNet users group, and I'm happy to repost that. But yeah, there you go. Fantastic. That's wonderful. Okay, thank you, Reza. Should we open up?
Those were actually great in Vegas, Reza. A lot of the tables had those signs in the Las Vegas show, and that actually was a huge help for me personally, because to get the GNet ID, I need to log into GNet. This way, it did allow me to get all the information right there. You know, me, I like to carry as little stuff as possible when I walk around.
Exactly. Should we open the floor up to questions? Does anyone have any questions thus far? It's a good time to ask. Are you a first-time attendee? Will you be at the affiliate central? Do you need help with anything, getting prepared, going? No questions?
I have one question. Maybe Paul can touch base. Is the first-time attendees?
Yes.
I think there are a session like for that.
Yes.
Dedicated for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. First-time attendees, I think those are the most important attendees that should get the most out of the show, because sometimes it can be overwhelming. I remember my first time, I was dizzy. Honestly, I swear, I don't need to lie. I got very dizzy my first time. I was very overwhelmed. It was definitely a lot, you know, but as a first-time attendee, I think the best thing is schedule your day, know what you're going there for. Bring as many business cards as possible. Please, please, please. Do not forget your business cards at home. Also, for the first-time attendees, I think it's very, very important for them to feel comfortable and not to really feel shy. Don't feel shy. That's the biggest thing, is go up, talk to anybody, say hello. A simple hello can start a conversation that can create a partnership that will last for 20 years.
That's right.
You know?
If I'm not mistaken, the show, when you walk in and you get your badge, if you're a first-time attendee, there's a ribbon they give you that says first-time attendee.
Yes.
So that's a good way if you're a seasoned show goer, trade show attender, and you see that, you know, I always make the extra effort to welcome somebody who's new because I know it might be awkward for them. But like Reza said, that first timers event is fantastic for anyone who's new because you're in a room full of others who are in the same boat you are. And that's a great place to make some initial connections and then get out there and promote yourself. Everyone's very, very happy to meet new faces. So yes, don't be shy.
Yeah, and that first timers event every year, you have so many people who are already kind of seasoned in the industry going to the event to really help the first timers feel more comfortable, to feel more open, to feel more so, you know, just to get out there and network, just to get out there and talk to people.
There's one more thing that I think we should touch on when it comes to first timers or not first timers, but the NLA Show offers a phenomenal program that's a mentorship program where you can find a mentor who will guide you, who will hold your hand. And I think obviously I have never attended that because we're not operators, but has anyone here used the mentor program? And Paul, do you have any information you can share about that?
Yeah, actually, I always go to the mentorship program. Not as a mentor, I'm a mentee in a sense. I'm being mentored. So it's a phenomenal program. I always choose a different person every year, and I always like to choose somebody I don't do business with. Because if I already do business with you, we're already talking. We already have a partnership. If I need any type of mentorship from you, I know I can easily reach out to you. However, the person I don't know, I don't have any connection with, that's a great way to kind of open that door to them as well, to get in with them, you know, to really, really see, hey, can we do business? And also they could see that side of you and your company and your brand, so on and so forth. Very, very great event. I sign up for it every year. I'm not going to disclose who I chose this year. Last year, I chose Rick Versace from A1A. You know.
Oh, he's amazing. He's
Great.
an NLA treasurer.
Yep.
Yes, very seasoned businessman. Wonderful, wonderful man.
Yep, absolutely. He really helped me during that session kind of understand more so dealing with hospitality brands, because he has a lot of experience with that in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, where he deals with a lot of major hospitality brands. And that's something that was something very new to me on a particular project I was working on. And literally during that table, he answered 3 specific questions that I did not have a clue as to what the answer would be. And it was real beneficial to me. Yep. So
I'm wondering if we can put out a question to our other viewers. Is there something we haven't talked about that you have found to be very interesting at the shows? Is there a particular event you've attended within the shows, a session or something that I know the women in the industry, we've often sponsored that as well. I think that's phenomenal for women to get to know other women leaders and whatnot. But is there anyone who wants to add anything that we've not mentioned about the show that they like? No? Okay.
If not, I'm going to ask one more question.
Go ahead, Reza.
Morgan asking Paul about not to do's or things to avoid.
Yes.
okay, so definitely don't listen. We're all adults. We're all responsible. I think everybody knows, you know, don't drink and drive at these things. That's the first and absolute biggest no. Do not drink and drive. Guys, we're in the transportation industry, for Christ's sake. Pick up the phone, call somebody to come and get you. $50, literally $60, even $100. I'll pay that any day of the week because I know I'm going to wake up the next day, put on my suit and be downstairs with all of my industry peers, friends, affiliates, as opposed to a whole different wake up experience in a different setting and environment. You know, listen, late nights, everybody is an adult, stay out for as late as you want, but also be responsible. Know if you know you have to be up the next morning, 6 a.m., and you walk into your room at 2 a.m., don't be surprised why you're so tired and your eyes are bloodshot the next day. 4 hours of sleep, that usually does it. Dallas, Dallas is a great city. It's a great place to have a great time. There's tons of activities to do. I'm a firm believer wherever I go, I respect. I respect the culture there, the lifestyle. I'm a law-abiding citizen, all of that good stuff. But more importantly, I respect my peers. I have the utmost respect for them. No matter what the situation is, I always try to stay calm, collective, professional. There's different channels available during these shows that if a situation arises, you have an outlet that you can voice your concerns to. Definitely, absolutely be very respectful of all the women. I think that's very, very important. Under no circumstance, and that's not something, I think anybody would tolerate, and the only thing I can say to that is just be responsible, be mindful. I mentioned it earlier, something you might find funny, and maybe the people that are in your group might find funny, somebody might find offensive. Just always be wary of your surroundings. You're going to be in an environment, even in the lobby bars, I'll go ahead and say it, you'll have about 20 different groups. And listen, everybody's having a good time, just as long as everybody's respectful of one another. I think that's the best way to go about it,
Agreed.
And network, be talk as much, get to know people as much as you can. And as crazy as it sounds, that's usually the best time to get to know that person, because that's when they're not focused on business. That's when they're not sitting there taking notes. That's when they're more open. The day is done. The tie is off. That's when you really get to know sometimes the real person behind the suit and tie, or the casual attire that a woman would wear. Not to just single anybody out, but yeah.
Absolutely. Any other questions? I think we're drawing close to the end, so I want to give everyone an opportunity if they have a question.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
I will not be there the first day of the event because I am transporting about 400 veterans.
Wow.
Am I really missing much on that first day? Does anybody know that?
Well, I think if they have their schedule, it's on their website. If you go to the NLA Show Dallas, and they'll give you a rundown of what the sessions are for that day. And then again, if you download their NLA Show app that's sponsored by North Point Limousine, if you download that, that's also a place where you can see what else is coming up. If you're missing one day, I would take Paul's advice and make a list of people you want to meet, affiliates you'd like to meet, and reach out to them in advance because everyone's busy. So if you want to get a meeting with them, make sure you plan ahead. But even if you miss the first day, there's always plenty going on and lots of opportunities.
Yeah,
Antonio, I just download the app, and then Saturday Limo Anywhere user group. Sunday there are lots of sessions, and Monday lots of sessions. Yeah, first day is just one session.
Good. I'm not missing much. Great.
I'm going to be honest. If you miss just Sunday, you are not missing much, Antonio. Only the mentor program, that's the thing you will miss out on, where you can sit down with the mentor. The shuttle operations, I think that's a great session. There's going to be a good session about AI, but in terms of missing out on networking, Absolutely not, Antonio. When you come Monday, I might be wrong, but there might be more people on a Monday than there will be on Sunday. Some years it happens where the second day there's just more people than the first day, because for whatever reason, just like in your case, Antonio, you have a big event you need to tend to.
Yeah.
I know certain affiliates who aren't getting there till Monday too, because they have other priorities that need to be kind of tended to. So you're definitely not missing much.
Yeah, I can't pawn this off. I mean, if it was 1 or 2 or 10 people, that's one thing, but not 400 vets. So
400 people, Antonio, well done. And I'm sure
No,
you'll
this is
do-
going to be more than 400, I think.
No,
I think-
Antonio's
Oh.
obligation, why he can't
Oh,
be there is he's
oh,
no,
transporting
absolutely.
400 veterans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God
Yeah.
bless. It's an honor. That's awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome, man.
but I got a really soft spot for vets.
That's
Good for you. That's a great focus. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
I appreciate the info on that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I think if there's no further questions, we can start closing the meeting. Anything anyone wants to add before we do our closing? No? Okay, well, first of all, thank you again for everyone who attended this workshop. We hope you find them helpful, and we always record these and have them available on our YouTube channel. I will go ahead and post that on our Facebook as well, in case I don't have it handy right now. Otherwise, I would have put it in the chat box. A huge debt of gratitude to Paul. You're always so informative, full of knowledge, and the fact that you're able to share it with everyone is just immense, and we really are grateful for your participation. Thank you for being here. And of course, I need to thank everyone at Chauffeur Driven and the NLA for going through all the hard work that they do, because truly these networking convention trade shows, I mean, they are just absolutely a must for anyone who's in this industry. And it's just wonderful that we have these opportunities. So please do take advantage of them. I think Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
You got him? Okay. Yeah. So again, a sea of gratitude goes out to Chris Weiss and Jess Pavlo and the NLA for putting together such amazing events. And we really look forward to seeing everyone. I think we've got a couple of our members showing up for Dallas, but in Vegas, that's going to be a huge one for us. So we'll be in touch before then. Thank you, and have a most wonderful rest of your week. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Great to
Bye,
see.
guys.
Hope to see
Thank you,
everyone there.
Paul. Thank everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, great job.